right, welcome this morning. We'd like to welcome you. It's a new month, so Florence.
Yes.
Happy New Month
Happy
to
New
you.
Month to you.
Yeah, it's good to be here in the
Yes.
month of June, and today is the first day. So we'd like to welcome everyone this morning. All right, my name is Jadi Sola Ajibola, welcoming you to AM120 on the Broadcasting Corporation of your state.
And my name is Florence Cheryl. Once again, welcome to the program. I have with me the Nigerian Tribune this morning. We take the newspaper review. Then we go on to Matters Arising, where we do our interview segment. Now trending on the Nigerian Tribune this morning, Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards, deploys special rescue team. COS, NSA, IGP, Defense Minister, others visit community. NUT, Nigerian Union of Teachers, declares strike in Oyo State. Holds nationwide solidarity rallies today. Makinde cautions against protesters, says public demonstrations could embolden kidnappers. On the health segment of the Nigerian Tribune, we have cancer jab can eradicate entire tumors in patients, trial shows. NNPC generates 5 trillion revenue as crude oil output hits 1.68 million pods. Benga Ashim emerges Accord Party presidential candidate. We'll now take the stories inside of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. On page 3, we have Oyo abduction. Tinubu approves 1,000 forest guards, deploys special rescue team. Group warns against politicization of security challenges. NUT declares strike, plans nationwide solidarity rallies over abducted Oyo teachers and students. Makinde cautions against protest. Moving on to page 4, we have evolving security landscape demands trained mission-ready personnel. Moving on to page 5, NNPC generates 5 trillion revenue as crude oil output hits 1.68 million pods. Nigeria UAE non-oil trade rises to $5 billion in 2024. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, page 6, we have Nigerian Breweries PLC appoints Nkechi as resource director. Let's look for more stories on the Nigerian Tribune. On page 8, we have reusing 31 days to inaugurate projects in FCT to mark Tinubu's 3rd anniversary, says Wike. Moving on from that, still on the Nigerian Tribune, let's look for more stories. On business, we have gas project stoppage, concerns over Shagamu-Ibadan pipeline investment climate. More stories on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. FG restates commitment to gas expansion, unveils CNG booster station. NBC says average petrol price sold at 1,533 naira per litre in April. NUPRC pledges commitment to workers' health, safety in offshore operations. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, looking for more stories. We have Odua's investment reiterate commitment to expansion, innovation. FG partners sensitive dairy consumers, a new campaign. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, moving on to politics now. Atiku waits on ADC, NWC, NEC for choice of running mates. Party source Amechi on the list. Benga Ashim emerges Accord presidential candidate. Labour Party picks Chima Bombs as Rivers State governorship candidate. Labour Party unveils consensus candidate in Sokoto. Still on the Nigerian Tribune on page 24, we have Tinubu building alliance with foreign nations to defeat security threats, says the First Lady. Ekiti monarch seeks tougher and anti-kidnapping law, state police. Still on page 24, we have NTCA raises concerns as 1 in 5 Nigerian teenagers tries tobacco. On page 25, World Health Organization warns tobacco industry is targeting children through flavors, and this is on social media. Sanwo-Olu expresses solidarity with Oyo over kidnapped school children. On page 27, we have Plateau government spent over 4 billion naira on humanitarian assistance in 2025. This is coming from Muftuang. Still on page 27, Tinubu administration driving historic education reforms, says EXU Chancellor. Moving on to page 20. No, we'll now take some stories from the Nigerian Tribune sports segment. Unity Cup, Yusuf Savers victory, brace in final. Federal Cup, Rivers United, Rangers set to renew rivalry today. And that was all we have on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. We'll now move on to you.
All right, thank you very much, Florence. Thank you very much. Stories from the Nigerian Tribune. All right, I'll be taking some stories from the Punch newspaper, the Business Day, This Day, Guardian, and of course, The Nation. All right, I'll begin from the Punch newspaper of this morning. And the major story on the front page there says, your abduction, NUT strike begins as Tinubu sends 1,000 forest guards with one rider there, teachers to hold nationwide rally, or your short schools, NSA, IG visits troubled, or your communities. That story is there on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. On page 8, Labour rejects 100,000 minimum wage proposal. U.S. commits $3.5 million to monitor Nigeria's religious violence. That story is on page 8. Still on that same Punch newspaper, you have banks, bad loan rise after CBN ends forbearance. All right, of course, those are the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. On the front page of This Day newspaper of this morning, the major story that said 2027, PDP, NDC, APM affirm Jonathan Obi Makinde as presidential candidate. All right, with some riders there, the riders says, former president declared candidate in absentia. Obi vows to tackle insecurity, poor governance, hunger, unemployment. Makinde pledges to rebuild Nigeria through reforms, transparent governance, people-centered leadership. That story is there on page 5. All right, let's go to some other stories this morning. Still on the front page of This Day newspaper. Nigerian governors to Tinubu consider increasing minimum wage to 100,000. All right, that story is also there. Let's quickly go on this commercial break. When we come back, we'll take more stories. Stay with us.
It's up to architect Bisola and builder Brian to rebuild the city.
We'll need some help. Let's get up and go!
You'll need more Cowbell Choco to complete your mission.
To get up and go, give them Cowbell Choco.
Supra Malt, Multivitamin Junior. Supra Malt, Multivitamin Junior. Being mommy, simplified.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small win wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course, now they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120. I'll take you through more stories from the Nation newspaper, where you have the major headline there saying ADC, others begin post-primary fence mending. That's there on the front page of the Nation newspaper. You also have other story there. Okay, the other story there is on banking. All right, you have this Floater Wave promotes over 100 employees, launches global relief package. That story is on page 16. And you also have, of course, one of the commercial bank secures shareholder approval of 1 trillion capital, signaling bold strategic reset. And that's as much as we'll be taking this morning from the dailies. All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be serving you with the weather report, quotes for the day, and then we'll transit into our interview segment. Stay with us, don't go away. AM120 continues shortly.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys.
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
Cadbury 3-in-1 hot chocolate, the treat you deserve.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120 on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. This morning, it's another interview segment for us this morning. And this morning, I don't know what to call it, maybe a heart-breaking one or a painful one, or I don't know. I just can't find the right words to use. But we'll be looking at Orire host stages to negotiate or to deploy force. That's the topic this morning. You will recall that several teachers and pupils in Orire community in Oyo State, specifically in the Ubumosho area, were recently adopted. It's more than 2 weeks since they've been in custody, and several videos have been put in public space, have been going viral with regards to this adoption. The children have been there in the cold, in the sun. The teachers have been there a couple of days now. And trust me, I don't want to go emotional, but truth be told, a few days ago, His Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State, was at that particular school to meet with parents and families of the adopted children. And His Excellency, having met them, requested and pleaded with them to please be patient and show understanding, and of course cooperate with government to intensify effort in ensuring the rescue of these adopted persons, children, mothers, fathers. Again, the NSA, top government officials, presidency, CDS, Tom Orire, community as well. And not just that, we also saw a video going viral where the principal of one of the school, Mrs. Alamu, was pleading that Nigerians should come to their aid, that because government tried to make a forced rescue, unfortunately, one of them had been picked. She said he. So to my mind, a man had been picked again to be murdered. We pray this does not happen, and we pray that the matter will be resolved soon. But trust me, we can't look at this conversation alone. We have a retired intelligence officer here to look at this issue holistically for us, and that's Mr. Fatai Akinsomi, Esquire, who is also a legal luminary. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my sisters.
It's quite painful to see all of this. Again, you'd agree with me that even NUT have decided that they will begin a nationwide strike to, express their feelings over the kidnapping of these children ranging from age 2. In fact, there was one that I saw backed by one of the teachers. I'm sure he's not, that baby, maybe a girl, not 2, less than 2. What do you think, you make of all of this?
Well, it's a serious psychological trauma, especially for those teenagers. Because this impression they are having now is to be recorded inside their brain, and the nearest future, it can shape the mood of their behaviors to the society. So that is why the government should put everything in place to ensure their timely release from the captivity.
When we're talking about negotiations, do we know what exactly it is that these people are demanding for? Is it ransom? Are they looking for exchange? What exactly?
And we will not be able to know unless those who are negotiating with them make a definite statement in respect of that. Unless you be just speculating.
Now let's look at it. A lot of groups have gone on social media to actually speak about this, that they feel that we've not done enough to bring back these children. And it seemed like we're going about our normal duties as if nothing has happened. Meanwhile, these children are just the same way the Chibok girls were taken away. Until today, we don't know where the others are. Don't you think that there is more that we can do away from what we are currently doing?
Yes, there is. And that is where I have to appreciate the NUT stand now when it comes that they have to boycott attending schools. This is one of the actions they ought to have taken earlier. But when some of your children were abducted, and the second day you are going as if it's just normal business, it shouldn't be. But now, they too, I think they have gone back to the drawing board, and they'll be able to see that one of the ways they can assert pressures on the government is just to stop, attending schools.
So we're talking
until the abductees are released.
So we're talking about to deploy or, to negotiate with these people. When we want to negotiate with them, what are the necessary steps to take in negotiation as a security intelligence officer that you?
You see, if you are the position we are now, our behavior will differ from those who are in captivity. Those who are in captivities and the immediate family want them to be released now, if it is possible. Whether they pay ransom, what they just want is the immediate release. But those of us who will be doing theoretical analysis, if we say, yes, if they pay ransom, they are more or less empowering the abductors so that they will be able to buy more equipment and keeping them alive also. But the most important thing those who are negotiating is that they should make sure that they don't negotiate as if the abductors will be determining the terms of the negotiation. Absolutely. Those who are representing the government should see themselves as being in the upper hands. Because when they are talking about the release, yes, that may give some of the abductors, some or many of them, or all of them, the leverage to not to be immediately, arrested or apprehended. So generally, in my own opinion, the government should take control of the negotiation. Not that they should absolutely allow them to be determining the pace of the negotiation, but that will give them an upper hand and will give them the unnecessary power as if they have been accorded they have upper hand in the negotiation.
So if we were to deploy, if we were to use force, Because now we are torn between saving the lives and,
You see,
and...
the most important thing is that even if they want to use force, they will determine. It's not that you want to use force, they just mobilize to the force. Because in using the force, the lives of the children also will be at stake. You don't know who is going to die, you don't know who is going to escape it.
Yeah, the video that they saw that came out, there was already threats of, somebody else going to be killed if the government keeps trying to use force. So now we are torn between saving lives and, trying to make sure that this act doesn't continue and repeat itself.
You see, the abductors too, they don't want to die. So psychologically, if they realize that and don't lose the sight of the fact that till the time we are talking, they still have some of their informants within the society. We will be feeding them. There is answer. They are likely to use force. And they too, they will not want them to use force because they want to escape. They want to make sure that they live to do another one, if possible.
Now, let's look at the issue of abduction. Usually when people are abducted, perhaps a day or two, they'll tell you what they want. You know what they're asking for, the demand, the ransom, whatever they want, we'll know. But let's pay some bills. Let's quickly go on this commercial break. When we come back, I'll put that question straight to you. Please stay with us, don't go away.
Home. It's shared moments lived in the now.
Home. It's when concussion rice comes to the rescue when your homies arrive for sports night or girls hangout.
Home is the moment we live and what's in the pots. After all, what's home without food? That's why we say, let's go home. There's food at home.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120, and we still have our guest in the studio with us, and that's Mr. Kisomi Esquire. All right, now let's quickly look at it. Usually when, kidnappers abduct people, they, after a day, worst case, 24 hours, maximum of 72 hours, they tell you exactly what they want. And then you see families and people start running from pillar to post to actually, Now, this particular set of abductors, they have kidnapped teachers and pupils. And they have not told us what they want. What they're just saying is that they want to speak with government officials. Now, are they expecting the government officials to come to their, den? Or to, because, there must be a channel. And if you look at the video that went viral, Mrs. Alamu was saying, please talk to them. And the other teacher, please, whatever they ask for, just give them. Don't come with force. And they have not said this is what. So how do they expect, to be reached out to? I'm sure Mr. Alamu does not have the phone number of His Excellency the Governor or even that of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So in this kind of scenario, by your experience, as an intelligence officer, how do you think this is going to play out?
For government to create opportunity or line of conversation is not as hard as you are thinking.
How?
By now, they have identified them. They know where they are. Those conspirators who have been apprehended, they have their phone, so they know how to contact them if it comes to issue of communication.
But it's a long chain when you're talking about kidnapping. The people that were apprehended might not even be the people in the bush. No, they may not have direct link to the people in the bush.
No, they have.
That's an assumption.
It's not an assumption. As at now, they know that they have, because one of them was, from the level of the investigations, they were telling the abductors that don't take that route. You turn to the right, take this part of the route. If we are not communicating, that information will not be there. I cannot be giving you directives in abstract when I cannot. When I say, okay, don't go like that, go like this. They have gotten some clue that really shows that. So to establish communication, I don't think that's a problem. So they're
waiting for the government to establish the communication, not them reaching out.
They have made certain demand, which government knows that they have made certain demands. And the level, the situations, or the side of the government is what we cannot determine now. But I think they are moving forward. But generally, it will be better to negotiate than to use force because of the numbers of children that are involved.
But on the long run, is this sustainable?
No, we cannot be going on like this. That it's not possible. No, there are so many, there are type of so many rescue missions that you can engage on. There are some, they will categorize it so that the one, even if they are going to resort to that rescue, then which approach?
Okay. Yeah. Let's also look at it. The president approved 1,000 forest guards for Oyo. And if we're saying that we want to negotiate, do you think that approval of 1,000 forest guards, is that what we need now?
Yes, we see, you cannot say because we are negotiating, then you will not plan. Supposing the negotiation fails, you get what I'm saying? Day is counting. So I think it's in the right direction. The other time I was saying that I was of the opinion that most of our hunters who are used to the bush, but they cannot hunt in the bush because it's reserved areas and the animals they have to choose there are reserved. You cannot just kill them anyhow. That they should license them so that for hunting purposes. The essence of that is that they hunt mostly in the day, night, and in the night and during the day. So, and they will be, recruited, but engage in information gathering also for security operatives. So if these are our hunters, they will be happy because it will be source of revenue for the hunters. And any movement in the bush, because if you don't master the bush, the security of the bush, there is no how we can, say you want to combine, reduce terrorism when you don't know the security in the bush. And those who are engaging in this abduction, they can be in the bush for 1 year, for 2 years, is their home. And they know the terrain.
Sometimes I wonder how they live in the bush, actually. How they survive.
They have been there for this since when they are young. Some of them were born in the bush. So they know they know they are master when it comes to the issues of this forest.
So if we were to deploy, if we were to use force now, what sort of intelligence would we need to would the government need to gather before, to avoid the situation whereby people are getting killed because they know they are coming in? What kind of intelligence would the government need to gather?
It's not about...
And does your state have that kind of, intelligence?
No, you see, when you talk about intelligence, it's not the person that releasing the information will not be able to categorize that this is the type of intelligence given. They have some people who will analyze it before even it is categorized as intelligence. Those you send to the bush to get information, they may see them, they may not know how to analyze them. You hear what I'm saying? But when it gets to the desk officers who begin to analyze the information, they'll be able to determine this is good, intelligent information. This type of information, these people are well armed, they are not armed. These people have their women among them, they don't have this. They'll be able to do, after that, they will now be able to know the approach, the best approach to use to achieve the desired result.
Now, let's also do some analysis around these abductors. You'd agree they went to 3 schools in that community and abducted everyone they found, at that place at that time. And if you look at the people that were seen on the screen, on the videos going viral, you could see the difference between the first day they were abducted and made to talk and currently what they look like. Wearing the same clothing. I'm not sure they've had their bath. I'm not sure they've had the opportunity to brush their teeth. even if they did, under which condition. And you could see that even at every point they were talking, you could see the gun, being pointed at them. And this leaves them with fear, of unknown of what would happen next. How do you think government should handle this issue now?
You see, if you read the comprehensive pronouncements of the federal government, which include the 1,000 forest guards, there are other components which includes quick response squad location. At times, issue will happen before you alert the security operatives. It's a bit some hours. And there's a directive also to the Federal Ministry of Education to immediately liaise with the appropriate authority to ensure securities of schools, especially those that are prone to attack. That is, those who are very close to the border or close to the bush or close to the. At the same time, they will release full numbers of there will be locations of military or security base where they can contact immediately there is occurrence of such. Because there is different time, there is different, something if you are where the school is attacked and the information is relayed almost 5, 6, 7, 8 hours after. The response squad they would have gone far before the information got to the security operatives. So if they were able to implement the pronouncement made by the federal government some few hours ago, I think it will go, at least it will be a very good development.
Okay, let's look at the teachers' strike. After 2 weeks, the teachers decided, AUT decided to, lead, a protest to request for the safe release, or rescue of these teachers and pupils. Don't you think this is coming late?
It's the.
Why did they sit down over time and
they spoke also. Just second day or third day, I think AUT spoke, and then TNC also joined them. So, demanding and urging the government to quickly intervene to ensure the timely release of the children. But what many people are thinking, are the opinion that the teachers, who also are also mothers and fathers, they should, and they still feel comfortable when some of their children have been abducted. The second day, they do as if it's a normal thing. Say, okay, we can continue to go, and they are still going. When there is no full assurance that those children cannot be attacked also. So that is the thinking of the people. But I think they too is good because they have shown that they are mothers and fathers and their response now that they should, they have made their view known, and the government will now sit down too, and they do not want things to degenerate, because the aims of the abductors is just to undermine the government of the day. It's just to create situations where the citizens will now be condemning the government of the day, and categorizing them the way they like, because the primary responsibility of a reasonable government is the provisions of security of lives and property of the citizenry and those who are living within the state.
So the delegation that was held, that we had the NSA in attendance and everybody from the federal government to the state government, there was a request of fencing public schools in Oyo State. And we have about 2,000 primary schools and maybe like 1,000 secondary schools. How how plausible is this? Can we actually do this within the short period? Because, you know, they spoke about some areas that are like subjected or like on that are easily that can be attacked easily.
That are very prone to this.
Yes, are prone to attack. Thank you. So how plausible is this? Can this actually, you know, can this actually be sustainable? Can they do it in the short period of time that we have? Because currently, it's as if like this is a trend. It's going around. This community was attacked. Very soon, it could be another community. So how plausible is this? And how fast can they actually get it done?
I don't think there's nothing impossible if the government, you know, have the political will to get it done. You see, Nigerian, with all this Boko Haram we are talking, it is because we have porous border. Our border is so porous, and there are some submission in the past that we should fence our border. If we fence it, it will deter the movement of people, especially unauthorized people, to Nigeria. But it has not been fully considered. So if you now think that all the primary schools or secondary schools in Oyo State, they cannot isolate Oyo State because these things happen in Oyo State now. Okay. It should be generalized. So it is possible if the government wants to do it.
Okay, let's quickly pay some bills. When we come back, we'll look at fencing of the schools, and is this the safest that we can get for our children? We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point oh.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small win where the carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
Home. It's where the aroma begins its joyful parade.
Hearts and bellies filled with
Sizzling beef stew, smoky jollof and chicken, efforiro with better cow leg.
delicious afang. Correct nkwobi made with onga.
Amala, begiri and wedu.
Abula you mean?
Pepper soup, correct banga and starch with fresh fish.
All right, welcome back. It's still AM120, and we've been discussing the real stage to negotiate or deploy force. And before we went on that break, of course, Mr. Fatai Akisomi Esquire, who is a retired intelligence officer, was sharing with us his views. And of course, I said when we come back, I want to ask you, fencing of the school, putting even a security guard there, does it tell us that our children will be safe? I think the issue of insecurity at the moment goes beyond just building fence. Fence is one thing, but it's not the major. It's about getting out, you know, fishing out these perpetrators and bringing them to book.
You see, you have captured it all. You said, even though fencing is one of the major things that can deter them, but it's not conclusively means to stop abduction. Let me give you an example of two scenarios that happens just of recent. In Kaduna, one, what is the name? Gawab or something, I've forgotten the name. He was the senior special assistant to the governor on community development, which means anytime they are discussing the issue of this bandit, this cattle rustlers or anything, he will be there as one of the major stakeholders. there are some terrorists were arrested, and unfortunately, they mentioned his name. The investigators went, they met him, he was arrested, his house was searched. And they now find out that was it 1.5 million cash was found in one of the nylon. And that amount was reasonably suspected to be part of the ransom paid. So when you see those who are the sponsors, who are backing this same Boko Haram, these terrorists, who are also part of government policy, you know, unless we detect the conspirators among us, and ease them out and deal with them, that we can have respite when it comes to the issues of these terrorisms. The same state governor was it on Thursday, had a meeting, security meeting. On Friday, he was telling some of them that the meeting we did yesterday, the terrorists, they have the knowledge, they have the breakdown of all what they discussed. So which means, and that is why when you have conspirators who are within the system, within the government, it is always very difficult, because once you be policing, you will be making your policy, they'll be leaking it out to the groups. If they are moving, say they want to go and rescue mission, if they are not very careful, the information must have been leaked to the abductors, and they may even take another route or take another actions that may create serious fear. So that is the. We are not going to talk about this issue of fencing. Issue of just fencing is just means meant to deter entrance or illegal entrance into an establishment.
When you say illegal, I'm wondering, is there illegal entrance where there's, even for you to trespass, for instance, where we're seated in the studio, if you're not supposed to be on set and you come, it's illegal. So whether there's a fence or not, the fence is just like another barricade to still keep people away. But I don't think we should be looking at the issue from the angle of illegal. If you're not supposed to, I mean, is it legal to have someone with guns go to schools and then begin to shoot sporadically and then pick up our children and teachers?
You see, you didn't get the mode that I'm talking about. The most important thing, if the school is fenced, even those abductors that they said, if they are 20, some will take this route. If it is not fenced, some will take this side, some will take this side, some will take the other side, and they'll be coming in simultaneously because they have free hand. But if there is one main gate, you know what I'm saying? They know that is the way they can take in. It's the same route they will take out. So if there is response team now who want to probably information pass to them timely, who are coming, they know where to man. They know this is where they will come out. It will be easier again for them to be apprehended.
I'm here to get maybe a side to the story of this abduction, saying that while the abductors came into the school, some people escaped.
Yes, there's that.
This part of the story never came up. I mean, for the fact that the place was not even fenced, it should have been an opportunity for some people to get out of that environment. Imagine, you know the way those schools are. You have one block this way, maybe one this way, or one here, one in front, or on this side. I've gone to so many of those communities, especially this area local government. I've gone to their schools. And you see the way the schools are structured. And so I'm wondering, I mean, they left the school, went to the next one, and yet picked everybody there. Somebody must have been there who would have escaped. For instance, a mother, I saw a story of a mother who was recounting how she saw a child being adopted. The woman is not, she's not a teacher. She's not one of the pupils who escaped. Maybe she dropped off the child and was going and saw movement and only looked back and was wondering what was happening and saw the whole scenario. Maybe, I'm just saying. But we need to be able to fish out. There must have been, I mean, if it was not fenced, that must have been a good reason for us to find one or two people. If I know my terrain well, that's why we have exit and entry doors. Somebody is coming through the entry and is a dangerous person. We've watched movies where you see houses where people, if there's something that's going to happen, they enter into those places. No matter the kind of explosion that happens, it will not get to them because that's their safe space inside the house. So I'm wondering, what do you think is wrong with the line of information that has come to us with regards to Rire?
You see, even outside the line of information that comes to us, if some people hear sporadic gunshots, even 10 hours after that incident, they may not even live where they are. You get what I'm saying? Definitely, some people may even be in the school as at the time the abductors took all those children and some of the teachers away. Definitely, some, it's not all. Some escape. But those escape, don't assume that probably they climb fence or they do things. They may be somewhere. As at the time they had that sporadic gunshot, they may be somewhere and decided to just keep there. Because psychologically, they will not even know which step to take. The one you are talking is when you have all your senses alert and you are able to reason, accordingly. But at this time, at times when you hear such gunshots, your sense of reasoning is almost gone. You will not even know whether to sit down or to stand up. Probably you have somebody who's very close to you and say, lie down, and you lie down. It's not your own, at your own volition. So you cannot blame those people at times that probably they ought to have escaped. It's not that when there is attack unexpectedly, it will affect almost everything in you, including your sense of reasoning.
Let's look at the track record of this kidnapping of 18 has been happening for a while now. Let's look at the track record of Nigeria in rescuing victims. How often do we get them safe? Especially when we are considering force. Because, when you negotiate with them, there's a higher chance of, getting the victims back safe. But now that we want to probably deploy force, what is the track record? Have we ever had a situation whereby, actions were taken and then we were able to get the victims back?
Yes. I think there are more than 2, 3, 4, 5 instances, especially in the Sambisa forest, where the government, most especially in the night, some rescue team went inside that bush and they succeeded and made sure that the abductees were rescued successively. There have been instances like that, especially in the north.
So we can be rest assured that if we try to use force, there's a probability that we can get the victims back safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So now let's look at it away from rescuing these victims, whether successfully or otherwise. God forbid. I use the word God forbid. Now, how do you think this will impact on our out-of-school children?
You see, definitely it will affect I said it earlier, it's a serious psychological trauma. And but I don't think it should be, it will deter our children from going to school. Because there is no Afroid family within, especially in the Southwest, who does not know the value of education. So if he said it didn't go for 1 year, for 6 months, it's just a delay. They will still go back, because they will not, they cannot isolate themselves from the other members of the community.
All right, as we wind down this conversation, I want you to advise government. Should they negotiate or apply force?
Already they are negotiating.
And they are applying force?
I wouldn't know they are planning force. But definitely they will not be looking straightly on one scenario, on one aspect. They are negotiating, and they'll be planning should in case the negotiation fail. But the most important thing is that the life of the children will be the paramount and the decisions.
So what concrete step do you think we would need to put in place if negotiations should if we follow through with the negotiations this time? What steps must we take to make sure that in the next 6 months, in the next 3 months, we are not revisiting this thing and wondering, should we deploy or should we deploy force or should we negotiate?
You see, the issue of security, we should look at it holistically. If the government are able to put all these things they said in place on time, there is, if 5 or 4 local governments are close to the border post, there can be a rescue-based team in one place where they can send information to when issues as such arise, so that there will be timely response from security operatives and all other things put in place.
Okay.
So I think it will reduce it. Thus, we cannot, it's the issue of terrorism. It's not something that you can eradicate 100%. You cannot. You can extremely reduce it, and but definitely cannot be 100% eradicated.
All right, we must say a big thank you to you, Mr. Fatai Akinsome Esquire, who is a retired intelligence officer and a legal luminary. We must say a big thank you for being our guest on the program this morning and for being here timely.
Thank you.
God bless you. All right, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, our second guest is waiting to join us. Stay with us, don't go away.
It's in the welcoming little hands wrapped around you in a warm embrace, asking,
"What for lunch, Mommy?"
So me and Kuka. It's in the coming from me, Gida. While the foreign a delicious plate of miyan kuka.
This miyan kuka is very delicious.
welcome back. It's still AM120 on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, and of course, rail stage to negotiate or deploy force. We have a second guest this morning who's going to be looking at the topic, and trust me, when you say someone who understands issues and who will puncture it on every side, you're talking about Mr. Adesumbo Badijoko, who is a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, our viewers.
Yeah. All right. I'd like to take you through this conversation. Let's quickly act as if we're in Oriri community. Yes, I know we're not there, but let's see ourselves there and look at the seat where the children are currently and their teachers, including the kidnappers. I'll take you through to Venezuela as well, where the president was picked by the United States from his bedroom. Right there in his bedroom, he was picked. He had security operatives. I'm sure they had more sophisticated weapons than those of the bandits in that bush in Oriri. And as we speak, I don't know how, maybe there's a way we would have picked those children the way the Venezuelan president was picked unexpectedly, or let's go the traditional way. We have, yes, the forest guards have been released, but I thought we had jazz, as in Southwest. Yes, there were explosives planted in the ground. Somebody could have just placed his hand on the ground and all the explosives would come out. Somebody could have just done affair and get to the place, blow something, and all the people there, like we watch in a Nollywood movie. Are we saying that those Nollywood movies are no longer working? And then all of them will sleep, and then they pick all the children, arrest the abductors, and today becomes another story entirely. What's really happening? Why is it that both traditional intelligence, local intelligence, and artificial intelligence is not working in this case?
The truth of the matter is this. Terrorism in Nigeria goes beyond those ragtag guys that carry weapons and navigate the forest.
Okay.
There are strong backups that cuts across various strata of our society, especially people in high places. We have bandits in the military, we have bandits in the police, we have a lot of bandits and terrorists among our politicians, even in government. Now, when you have this kind of situation, you will know that they have a command center somewhere. So people are dictating to them how to carry out the operation and the routes to pass, the entry and the exit points. They know. They pick the location, which are usually soft targets. And that is what we are dealing with. Now, to say if we can use the Venezuelan model, well, I will say it bluntly, we do not have the capacity to do that.
But US is supporting us, they're collaborating with us, so why can't they
Have
put
we
this
requested, the US, let's get one thing straight, US doesn't go to where their interest is not.
Why do they not have interest in saving lives? Maybe we'll do
if you want to see the US,
yes,
even fake news, declare that perhaps the principal that has been speaking has a US origin.
Okay.
Then that will capture their attention. They will first of all dig into the profile to confirm. And the moment they do that, you'll see them the next day. In fact, that evening you will see them.
So they can actually help us.
Only their interests. Wow. If they do not have any interests aligned. The reason why they came and killed that 2IC of ISIS was because ISIS is a threat to American interests globally. And then you have the number 2 man on Nigerian soil. That was why they came. That is the way the US operates. For those who think they are savior, they are not savior to anybody. But as a nation, we do not have the capacity. Now, in addition to that, what we have, the willingness is not there on the part of the government across board to really deploy. We are in Oyo State, Orire is in Oyo State, isn't it? We have warriors, people with native intelligence that you talked about, who are more or less begging because the last time they went to Igangan, they regretted. And so they will not move again until they have assurance that their own security will be protected.
We saw on social media where Sunday Igboho said he was going there.
He cannot go.
Why can't he go?
The last time he went, he ended up in exile. Look, and that's why I'm saying the willingness is not there on the part of the government to allow these things to happen. Because one way or the other, these same criminals are also connected in government, and they will finger out some people and then begin to pick them up. So these are issues that we are dealing with. What led to this is our inability to be proactive. There are early warning signs, enough of them. But we did not respond on time. And it is our response timing that is the problem. Let me give you a kind of a data now. In the US, the response time to crime is 10 to 15 minutes. In Canada, it's about the same time. In the UK, it's 20 minutes. In South Africa, it's 60 minutes. In Nigeria, it's 48 hours. 48.
But this is 2 weeks after the children have been abducted.
How long did it take the government to first respond? It took that long. And 48 hours is a lot of time. These people are not stationed, they are moving. Now, we are saying they are in Oriri, we are just assuming. They could be in Kwara State as we speak. Because the same forest gets to Niger. 3 national reserves border with each other. The Old Oyo National Park, the Bogu Game Reserve, and the Kainji Forest. Kainji is in Niger State. Bogu is in Kwara State and Niger. And Old Oyo National Park is in Oyo and Kwara State. And they are in the forest, the same forest. And you are assuming that they are still in Oriri. That would be a wrong assumption. But to say whether the government is aware, of course, they have tracking devices. They know the exact location. And to respond to the topic, should we negotiate or use force? The time for force has passed. Negotiation is the only option on ground now.
Why has time for force passed?
Because that is a function of your response time. You did not respond on time. Now, they have thrown emotion in the air through those videos. You understand what I'm saying? They have beheaded somebody to create fear. And so people would not support that. The only thing that will fly now is negotiation. And you don't come to the public with that one too. You do it at the background. As we speak, I'm sure they are talking. They are just not agreed on terms. But the earlier they do that, the better. Because it is because they are children and people, common people. Had it been there's a child of a VIP, even though you want to ask if it is possible to have the children of a VIP in such location. And so that's the thing. But had it been we have just something close to that related, we would have seen a faster response. It's because we take things for granted.
Now, I'm beginning to wonder, the kidnappers, why do they choose to go for people who are less privileged?
Because those are the ones, you know, in Yoruba, there is this saying that any tabali dam, those are the people they can handle. You understand? Even when they are kidnapping in cities, there are some areas they don't go to. They would rather pick you on the road. They know once you enter your estate, they can't go there.
We've seen people being picked in their estate.
No, not this type that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about something like, even those estates, you still be on the road. They have not entered the community. Once they enter the perimeter of the estate, they cannot succeed in such an operation. They have their own intels to that.
Who are those sponsoring organized crime in Nigeria?
We have terrorism globally is sponsored from, it's an international, enjoy international patronage. And the US have often been fingered, even though they are also pointing to Iran. You understand? But historically, we know powerful people in the US, those who run their gun industry, are the ones that create crisis all over the world to create a market. So that's the idea behind
So
it.
who is buying guns in Nigeria?
You have some people that are also merchants who get this weapon. And now the government are so slack to allow it to degenerate into the level of becoming an economy. You understand? Now we are dealing with a bigger cartel, very, very powerful and strong. And that's why you see those whom we are expecting to respond faster are now being cautious because their own ranks too as a government have been infiltrated by agents of these people. So that's why you see, for instance, there was a coordinated attempt, I think the third day of their captivity, to see what they can do to rescue these people. Somebody leaked the intel, and they planted an IED, and the thing detonated, killing one person, injuring two. At that point, they knew they are dealing with a bigger problem, so they had to retreat and begin to now look for other means to get it done. That is what they are still on till now.
I talked about native intelligence earlier, going local. Is it that local powers no longer work? Where are
Is
the
the
traditionalists?
constituted authority interested in that?
Do you need them to use your native intelligence?
They have to. There are 4 hunters that come to forests, they hunt games there. They know every corner. But don't forget.
So why would they not be allowed to go?
Don't forget that the said forest, we say, borders 3 states. Meaning there has to be a collaborative effort from the neighboring states to really know. Those native intelligence may have their own voodoos that they can use to do some things. But I want to shock you that the so-called bandits too have their own.
Yeah, but power pass power.
Well, so we do not know which level they are. And let me share this classified information. There was a time something, even in that perimeter, and they got as far as Kwara. And some people trying to use that native intelligence were on their own trying to get those guys. Government was not involved, but some influential organizations were the ones that said, we have to get to the bottom of this. And as they were going, they saw one old woman who they believe must have seen, so they sought our assistance. We are looking for a bunch of criminals. We believe they would have passed this route. In the first instance, the woman wanted to be sure if they are the kind of people she can give the information to. So when she was convinced, she invited one of them to a corner and now told the person that come, that they should continue along that path, that they will get to a spot they will see cattle. That the ones sitting down are the real cattle. The ones standing are not. That what they should do is that once they get to that location and see that scenario, they should just kill all the ones standing. That is to confirm to you that those things you're talking about do exist. But the thing is, these people, because of the way and manner social media mess things up, when it comes to security, we don't need social media involvement.
Of course.
The only thing they will create is fear in people, and of course, help the terrorists to to advance their own agenda.
Yes, and look for other alternatives.
Because they are also using propaganda to achieve their aim. That's what they use to blackmail the government to get the ransom paid to them. And once they get the ransom, yes, they've succeeded in this operation, they begin to plan another one.
Okay.
Speaking about the involvement of maybe private organization in this, there was a video that came out of a man called Very Dark Man. And he spoke about trying to get involved in the whole situation if the government doesn't take proper actions fast. And people are wondering, is this safe for him? Is this safe for the people? And is this even proper? Is this the proper way to do it? A private person getting involved because he claims that
we have enough, Ariel Onokakafo once said in an interview. He was being interviewed about his own organization, the OPC, and of course why they've not been doing much. And somebody now links Sunday Igboho and some other. He responded, he said, in Yoruba land, we have a lot of warriors. And Sunday Igboho is one of them. That was the exact word he used. nationally we have people. And there are classic examples. The one that is much pronounced is that what happened in Obansi community in Nasarawa State. Despite all attempts of government backing, they did not succeed. And what they did is to stay clear of that area. That is what we expect to be done here. But those one had the government backing, but they did not make it open. And this is where I have issue with our governor here. You don't have to make noise or politicize the whole thing. When we are accusing the federal of politicizing, you're also doing the same thing. This, just hold a secret meeting and give them the marching order and continue to play politics openly. Why those ones work at the background? Your open politics will create a distraction so they won't know what you have done.
But trust me, that might just be what he's doing.
I know it's not. I will be aware because I'm fully aware of that, what is going on in there. I will know.
But is it not being fair and credible?
Is it not being?
Being fair and credible, just like informing.
I want to know what you mean exactly by being fair and credible.
Like taking us along, like carrying us along. People are worried, want to know what's going on.
Giving situation reports. Sometimes we get to a stage where people will no longer be interested in what you are saying. You understand? That is rhetorics. People need action. They want these people to get out. And imagine an 18-year-old child is among.
2. It's a 2-year-old child.
It's not up to 2. That's why they call it 18 months. But the thing is, primary school children are there alongside secondary school children. We don't know if there are WAEC candidates among them who will be missing exam from today. Remember the Chibok one happened during WAEC 2 in 2014. So these are things. Then I said there are enough signs. They came to Odoyo National Park, killed people, didn't they? And they went away. That was successful. What was the response from the government after that incident? You understand? Orire is a neighboring local government to Atiba. In this same Oyo state. How come we do not have, you may not have control over the police, fine, but you have control over Amotekun. And some people will be telling me about AK-47. No, where native intelligence is speaking, it is superior to AK-47. So that excuse should not even arise at all. And people are flying it. People with vested interests, people who overlove the governor than themselves, will, look, let us speak the truth to power so that things will be done rightly. We cannot continue this trajectory. You understand? It gets security votes. Local government can even handle some of these things, but they are not empowered. So when you see all the, Orire is a local government, isn't it? If the chairman has executive power the way he should do, he will know how to organize the hunters over there. That will even be prevented. It will not happen. Fayoshe called the hunters during his time under a Buhari government that we know has a lot of people in that government backing these marauders. Nothing happened to him. He did not say, hey, because he does not have control. That is improvising to solve problem. That has not been done here, and it's really making some of us angry. Because you can't just be passing the buck. No. You don't need to tell me that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. I know. But you are also the chief security officer in the state. You get security votes. So don't stop. Excuses is what it will amount to when some proactive measures are not taken. You understand? And I'm laughing at the man in Ogun State. He's also busy with playing politics. Why? Because he believes his state is not bordering the north, like Oyo is bordering the north. Osun too have time to campaign for second time because they will have to pass through Ekiti before they get to his own state. These are things that the governors, they are just about themselves, ambition. And when you get to government, whether at the federal, state, or local government, the primary function of government is security and welfare. It did not say primary function of federal government. It says government, security, and welfare. In as much as you are a government in your state, then security is not something to joke about. These are things that we are talking about. There are certain measures that can be taken. Do you understand?
Okay.
Now, there was a time when the Amotekun was to be set up. Some of us who had this privilege were saying that the best way to do it is to merge the OPC, the vigilante. Then maybe you can now recruit people that would be in the command center giving direction. But these are people that can enter forests, that has wherewithal, that are bold enough, and you don't even need to pay them much. But what did we hear? They said they should be downloading form online. And that was what made me furious. But I began to develop interest in Amotekun when I saw the way Governor Akeredolu, set up the whole thing, and others sit down began to follow. And I saw the people that were now in charge of training these guys in Oyo too. And of course, they did some deployments, especially, but those deployments are more of reactionary. They are not proactive. Because when kidnapping was rampant along Lagos, along Ijebu-Ode, till now, till this very moment, you will see strategic posts of Amotekun there, not too far from where the regular police would be. If those posts had been in those areas, like Orire too, this would not have happened, because there's no how somebody with security knowledge can detect crime from a distance. But when you leave the villagers to themselves, they won't know when some people are moving in a suspicious manner. But someone with security training will do.
And that takes me to the issue of the length and breadth of Oyo State. Don't you think Oyo State is too big to be one state?
That's why they are agitating that maybe.
And don't you think that might just be one of the steps to be taken immediately?
Part of the problem Oyo State have is, one, the capital is too big. And so, all governors that come in and out concentrate too much on the capital because there's much pressure coming from it. Because when you can imagine a capital with 11 local governments. Tell me which other capital in the whole country that has 11 local governments. Do you understand? And another problem is the forest. They are ungoverned spaces.
So should Oyo State not even be divided into 3?
Of course. Oyo is as big as a region that has 5 states. The last time I mentioned the name, I was attacked. So I've been cautious with my words these days. But that is just the fact on ground. Oyo State is 28,000 square kilometer plus. And the region is also about the same 28,000. For your information, Oyo State is bigger than a country. Some countries in Africa. Yeah. Rwanda is not as big as Oyo State. Burundi is smaller than Oyo State. So you now imagine that size, and then we will not be slacking. We can deploy technology. All we need to do is just like station, since you may not want to be able to enter the forest, say it is national reserve, but the last time I checked, the Land Use Act gives the land to the state. And the governor is the one that is vested with the power. So that gives you a cover to monitor whatever happens on ground. It is whatever is discovered under the ground that you do not have control over.
I'm also aware from the grapevine that even before this incident happened, long before, or not too long before, I mean, the state government also deployed resources to ensure that this particular reserve area was combed and clear.
I keep telling you, the reactionary measure is not working.
I'm saying
What happened? Were those people still there? They only went for that moment, and the moment they believe, okay, things are normal, they left. You have to station them there. And the surveillance is supposed to be continuous, because you know we are dealing with a situation nationally, and your state is porous. Apart from, thank God, the thing is minimal because those guys are only using Niger Republic. They are not using Benin Republic. If they have been using Benin, even Ogun that is dancing Yahoo up and down, busy playing politics, will be serious because he also has kilometers of land border with Benin Republic. Even Lagos. So, these are things that we are trying to make the public know. Now, when you have a state as big as this, one, you create an economic activity around those ungoverned spaces. Tell me one mechanized farm that is in Oyo State.
Organized what?
Mechanized farm.
Okay.
That is in Oyo State. The land are just there. The ones that are closer to us have been turned to real estate. That is creating economic activity. Just share them. Sign agreements. There are people that can invest in this thing that will not be complaining that's one bad. And someone that has set up a mechanized farm will employ people there. Will even have his own drone, surveying the area. You understand? They may even decide, as big as the farm is, to put perimeter fencing or wire mesh around it. These are security. Somebody can acquire large extras of land to set up a ranch. And you know, ranching would go a long way in preventing this thing.
Mrs. Mobadejiko, let's quickly pay some bills and then we'll be right back shortly. Stay with us. Don't go away. It's still AM120.
Home. It's shared moments lived in the now.
Home. It's when concussion rice comes to the rescue when your homies arrive for sports night or girls hangout.
Home is the moment we live and what's in the pots. After all, what's home without food? That's why we say, let's go home.
There's food at home.
All right, welcome back. Mr. Badejoko, before we went on that break, I'd like you to complete your thought. You were talking about...
Yeah, I was saying those places that were left unattended to, made ungovernable. The government can create economic activity around the place. Farming especially, or agro, allied industry. You can. Because when it comes to agriculture, it's like 70% state, 30% federal. So state has more stake in it. Why has that not been done? Even though we keep hearing agro-business all the time. How come that agro-business is not being in that dimension? If that has been done, then you would know that they may not be able to prevent or put a stop to crime, but they will serve as buffer to the populace that are now being threatened.
I raised an issue with the last guest, the first guest we had this morning. I said, up till now, we have not seen anyone who said, look, I was within the school when these people came. I ran away when I started hearing gunshot or I saw, movement. Was it that bad that there was nobody who was there or who escaped?
There will be people like that. Probably nobody has reached out to them. It's a rural community. Internet penetration is not like that of the city. They even said they had network problem, making calls out of the place. You understand? To get the information out. So then some people may be afraid. If I talk now, they will now come and kidnap me because they are also not secured. They know their environments. If there is heavy security presence, they will know. It's only when the dignitaries are coming that those things will now begin to parade and do a manner of show off or show of us just to terrorize the community. But when the VIPs disappears, everything returns to normal. So they could be afraid until there is assurance of, and some of the things that at least they did say they arrested some people in connection to what intel. I hope they would have gathered some intel. To what extent have they put those intel to use? These are things that only the state government and the federal government can tell us. And I also understand one fact. When it comes to security, you don't disclose your strategy in the public.
So some people who were there yesterday while the delegation from the federal came, I said a lot of people have deserted that community. I'd like to get your comment about that, as well as the NUT who declared to go on strike because of this particular incident from today.
Well, the NUT, it's better late than never, because I expect the strike to have commenced like before the festive period. But at least they are now on strike. solidarity to put pressure on government. Of course, the community will be deserted. It happened in Kwara. Those are the early signs that I talked about. That wasn't taken seriously. Because they also deserted Kwara community. Who wants to die? That's the question. If nobody is protecting you, at least you'll be able to protect yourself. And Yorubas will say, Kojuma So you would not wait for anybody to come and kill you. People would have just moved out of the community. They have relatives in town. Who knows how many of them are in Ibadan as we speak? Or some would have found themselves on their way to Ilorin. So, because Ilorin is even closer to the place than Ibadan. So when you see that happening, they will not wait. And I told you earlier that we say people are not coming. They will not come forth because they are not sure if their life is secured. Do you understand? Agent of the bandit could be there too, looking at the community, looking for those who would be volunteering to do certain things, and then they will not come and arrest them. So these are things that will be going on in the minds. The psyche is affected badly. Even those of us who think we are far away from the location, we also have our own emotional and psychological trauma that we are facing because of these developments. Can imagine a man being beheaded. Do you understand? That is very, 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 I don't know how to put it now. It's so disastrous and terrible.
As we wind down, I'd like us to wrap up with this. Conflict-related fatalities show that 3 years into this administration, we have reports that about 35,432 fatalities have been recorded in 3 years. And during Obasanjo's regime, during his 8 years, you had 7,522. During Yaradua, 4,889. And during Goodluck Jonathan, you had 7,400, as well as Buhari-led administration recorded 17,319 fatalities. Look at the difference. Put together the remaining government period administration. You had more people during this administration in 3 years.
If you go by that data, you would come to the conclusion that we do not have serious governments. 2 of them were generals, retired generals. They know the act of war. If Obasanjo could lose that much, then what are we talking? What do you expect a bloody civilian like Jonathan to do?
Like Yaradua was well.
Who was not even well. You understand? What do you expect this one there that is even, he just escaped the coup attempt to now do? If retired general who have participated in coup, fought civil war, could not really combat this situation. You understand? It's because, one, these guys had strong backing from some military generals who had kind of connected. And the situation is usually the same or similar. Any country that have experienced military rule for a long period, like Nigeria, the military is always very, very strong and influential. And you always find a situation where the civilian administration always find themselves at the mercy, even though they will say they are commander-in-chief. But the thing is, even though they're still subject to the cooperation, so to speak, of the military.
Okay. All right, we want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. This is where we call it a wrap on the interview segment. We've been talking about Orire hostages to negotiate or deploy force, and our guest, Adesimbo Badejoko, public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me once again.
So we're going to have the sports segment, and then afterwards we'll come back to say our goodbye.